Oh, hello out there. We're on the air. It's hockey night tonight, believe it or not, in Denver. And from the Toyota Lounge, brought to you by your local area Toyota dealers. And, of course, Toyota, official sponsor of DNVR. It is the DNVR Avs pod on a Monday, and we are talking all of the impacts from training camp. The practices happened over the weekend, and it's time to actually drop the puck at Ball Arena tonight. What's up, everybody? Gizmo, Rudo alongside. We got Big E. AJ's sticking with us still, and it's going to be a fun one today because it's hockey time, and it was cool. Today was the first time for a while for me back in an NHL building, and it had that feel to it. It had that morning skate feel to it, walking in, a little crisp in the air, a little coffee in my hand, backpack over the shoulder, getting credentials. It's got that feel, and then there's just something about being inside the building too.
It was fun. Like I said, it's fun to go in there and see. I think I said it on the earlier. See Tony the Zamboni guy. It's fun to see people that have been there for so many years of Ball Arena, better known as Pepsi Center, right? Mm-hmm. And so much history has happened in that building. So it was fun. It was fun to be back this morning. It's fun to talk hockey with you guys today. When I say hockey, there's a game tonight. I love it.
I don't know if we talk about this a lot on here or not, and I'm sure you guys probably have. But again, I'm the new guy. Wonderful job with the new dressing room for the Avs, by the way.
Nice.
And I know that was a few years ago, but I hadn't been in their room in a few. Well, I hadn't been in their room since they got it redone, and it was it's all the fancy shiny things.
Stark contrast to what it used to be.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I was blown away. I walked through the door and I was like, "Whoa!"
It was time.
Number one most important thing, they put the logo on the ceiling.
Yeah.
All right. That's what really matters.
FYI,
Love
for
it.
any of you kids out there or fellow journalists, you can't step on the logo. Like the logo normally in an NHL room, and they've gotten to the ceiling now, but they're normally on the floor. It's on a piece of carpet, and it's just, it's there. It's not roped off, but it's just an unwritten rule that if you step on the logo, it's a big no-no, and it's normally a fine. It's a pretty healthy fine. So if you ever find yourself in an NHL room and the logo's not on the ceiling, don't step on the logo. It's a big no.
I've seen teams put a rope around.
Yeah, too.
When
Remember
the media
how crazy
come
they
in.
were about it in Chicago?
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Just don't step on it.
No, don't step
You
on
don't
the
want
logo.
it stepped on, put it on the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, that's all.
Backflip.
And it's up there now in the Avs locker room. Most rooms have it on the ceiling, but let's just get into it a little bit. We've got some sound for you. We caught up with some guys after morning skate. Morning skate was a typical morning skate. There wasn't much to it. They go out. It's 2 or 3 drills, knock the puck around just to get the blood flowing a little bit. Get yourself out of the house in the morning. Why don't we start there and then we'll kind of wrap around. What was your overall take? We're going to hear our video. Hockey in the Rockies in a little bit, but just maybe 30,000-foot view on this morning and just kind of what it felt like to be back in the rink, back in the room.
Well, right away when you step, this is not a knock at family sports and practice facility, any type of practice facility. When you walk on the ice, well, if you're walking, you're in trouble. But when you start skating on the ice in an NHL building, it's a big difference. It just hits differently. The lights are brighter, so many more seats, and it's like, okay, it's for real now. So for some guys tonight, it's going to be exciting. And whether it's Sean Behrens or guys that have never played, I know they've played in big arenas like this, but not with an NHL jersey, you know what I mean, with the Avalanche. And, guys are jockeying for position. So it was fun to see this morning the game-like atmosphere, all the coaches all there and running some drills. And, guys like Matthew Phillips, you know what I mean, like little guy, but you got to root for him. Such a good player. Smart player, and I'm glad, it looks like he's going to get some power play time tonight, and it's an opportunity to show people, especially if you're new to the organization, of what you can do, and I think, why not start tonight?
Though they scrimmaged on day number 2, this ups it. There's going to be more people in the building. It will be a NHL game run through. It will have the resurface. It will be a NHL game. So for a lot of these guys, I love that Andrew said the stoke is off the charts. It's off the charts for us, and it's off the charts for the guys too. Rito, why don't we just start there? It's a different feel for these guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest difference is going to be the physicality. And, don't get me wrong with those scrimmages. There are guys that are going hard. But you get into a preseason game like this, and especially these first ones, yes, the skill level is not going to be there quite to the Nathan McKinnons. None of those guys are in the lineup. But there are a bunch of dudes in these games trying to make a name for themselves, going against opponents that aren't their teammates.
Who are also trying to make their respective team and have to do their stuff.
You're going to see guys going full bore. You're going to see guys trying to rip each other's heads off a little bit in a game like this. And then, there's no Nathan McKinnon skill, but you're going to see guys like an Oscar Olaus and a Cal Ritchie out there that are talented potential NHL players. So is it going to live up to a regular season game? No. But you are going to see that heavy level of compete at a game like this.
We'll talk about the Dallas Stars, too, in a minute. They're actually...
It's a decent lineup, yeah.
They're putting a decent amount of guys on the ice, to be quite honest with you. But, AJ, why don't we... we've kind of talked about this a little bit in a few different ways, but who stood out to you, pal, coming into this? What are you looking for based on the roster that's going onto the ice tonight? Who do you think is kind of the ones that you're going to be honing in on in the building?
Well, I think, if you read the roundtable that we did yesterday,
which I loved,
we all kind of agreed that everything going on with the defense right now has become must-watch territory for the Avalanche. Cal Ritchie, it'll be cool because he's never done this before. We haven't seen him in an Avalanche jersey in a game of any kind. So that'll be cool. That'll be neat. I guess I'm ignoring the rookie face-off.
Those don't count.
Yeah. But there are a lot of really good defenders that the Avs have. They go 10 deep.
Yep.
With Callie Rosen and Jacob McDonald down there at the bottom.
Part of it is the guys in
Callie
great
Rosen
shape,
had himself
but the
a
other
pretty
part of
solid
it,
camp too.
He actually has the balls.
This is just a really deep and talented group, and we don't really know after the top four guys. We don't really know what it looks like. They're all jockeying for positions. They're all jockeying for playing time, and DeHaan is in a different position because he's a little bit older and he's been on this journeyman path for a while. Kylington and Brandstrom are playing for futures, just to try to avoid becoming journeymen of their own, and potentially longer term deals here in Colorado if they're good fits.
I mean, it's even more than journeyman, right? Realistically, both of these guys have never really been able to hold down a full-time NHL job. Brandstrom was playing forward at times last year. Kylington obviously has had his own path with dealing with the other side outside of the hockey thing. But both of these guys,
I don't know. Have you seen Jalen
want to play a full season in the NHL, let alone earn a job?
Bro.
Yeah, and that's where I think I
should say it.
My focus is going to be on the defense tonight.
Where are you going here?
Usually is, but now they've
best shape
given
of
me
my
a good
life is
excuse
off
for
the
it to
board.
Best
usually
shape
be
of
on
my
the
life
defense.
is a great one. It will
because
definitely get said.
That's the battle that I find most intriguing right now.
Agreed.
Let's Eric talk about that a little bit more, because you do have that battle, and we've talked about the fact that obviously DeHaan is in the mix in that defensive structure, and where does he sort of fall in the lineup? Is it telling who's on the roster tonight and who's on the roster tomorrow, and the separation of the two? Or excuse me, not tomorrow. Who plays this game and who potentially plays the next game?
No, I mean, again, I do believe these rosters were made weeks ago.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, put in the drawer, and whatever the reasons are, they have their own reasons. I don't think you're going to see a lot of McKinnon, Makar, and Mikko and in those preseason games. You'll see them, but probably not a lot. Why
Game
would you?
5 and 6.
That's
of the
it. That's what I'm
preseason,
saying. Yeah. So it's like, again, it's such a different world. Different mentality a little bit, but those things have been put in the drawer for a few weeks by now, and then all of a sudden, you go out there, and I do. If you're a player tonight, I'm going to put my player jersey on. Like, okay, there's no McKinnon. Okay, there's no Makar. There's no whatever position you're in. Make the most of it. I don't care that it's a preseason. I don't care. You can't go out there like I'm Oscar Olofsson. For the love of God, please, you can't go out there. It's only preseason. No, this is your life with the Avalanche. You got to go play. This is the last chance you'll ever have to put on a jersey and prove that you belong in the NHL, if you really want it. So I'm using Oscar. I'm not here to bash on Oscar, but if you're Sean, this is your first time, Behrens, you're trying to show what you got. And if you're Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, that's almost 40 years old, you're in the same shoes. You got to be yourself tonight, and you're going to see him out there if you're at Ball Arena. You'll see him. This guy's not going to change. He's going to dictate on the bench what's going on to all the guys, and he's going to make sure everybody's doing good. He's going to be talking at the face-off circle, make sure everybody knows their assignments. Be who you are. And those big guys are not there, so take the lead. If you're Matthew Phillips, realistically, you're going to be on this lineup? Probably not. But tonight you are. And there is no McKinnon, and you do have skill, and you're probably going to be put on the power play if there are power plays in this game tonight. We don't know that. We need Jack's friend on the show, to tell us what's going on in the referees' heads in exhibition games like tonight. But that's besides the point, right? Phillips, go do what you do, right? Go do what you do, and then all of a sudden, we use that line all the time. Make them make decisions. We all know that there's a lot of decisions from your piece last week, from the round table of yesterday. There's decisions to be made by the organization, by the coaches, and go out there and make it tough on them. Don't give them an excuse to go, same old, same old. You know what I mean?
Look at Jared Bednar's presser from a couple days ago, right? Where he's talked about kids trying to earn jobs with the Avalanche. He said if they want to earn it, they got to earn it. They can't just be gifted these spots.
What do you mean? You got to earn stuff now?
I know, crazy.
No. I want a participation trophy. I get something for just showing up today.
Nothing, right? Everything earned,
Do I?
nothing given. And there's an expression in French, you know what I mean? And it's called manger les bancs.
I don't
that
speak
means?
French, but
I love that one.
Hold on.
That's my favorite French saying, actually.
T'es mieux de manger les bancs. What does that mean? Manger, eating. You know me. It's always about eating, right? And by the way, I'm going to beat the Avs on my bet.
Talk about that in 4
manger les
minutes.
bancs. Hold on. Manger les bancs. Eat the boards. You know what that means? You get out there, you put your freaking skates on, button up your helmet, and go freaking be a junkyard dog out there and go eat whatever's in front of you. Jason Poulin tonight, be a freaking manger bound guy, right? Go. And that's what it is. You'll never know when you'll get that opportunity again.
Jason Poulin, we talked to him, and it was we're going to play it for you just a second here, but I really like his mentality coming in, and I think the thing that I picked up on big time today, too, and you're going to hear from him right now, he struck up quite the friendship with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, and I think that that's not only helped him, but it's also relaxed him. This is what Poles had to say after morning skate today in a DNVR exclusive. All right, Poles, it kind of starts tonight. Obviously, last year, injured. This is your first real opportunity at NHL. Where are you feeling you're at right now, and what's the goal tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just want to come here and showcase my skills, just stick to my game. I felt like I've done pretty good at camp, and now it's a real opportunity to show my skill set in the games and show who I am.
Is it feel different when it's, obviously the camp in LA was the camp in LA, and then you have an opportunity here in Colorado now in front of the big crowd on the big ice. Does it change the feel, or is it hockey at the end of the day?
Obviously, it's exciting. You get to play in front of the Avalanche fans, but at the end of the day, it's hockey, and you just want to go out and show who you are, and that's my goal.
What do you think the highlight of the camp was for you so far, just in terms of your own takeaways, other than playing with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare?
Yeah, I mean, it helps having a guy like like him, but he helped made me feel comfortable from day one. It helps having a guy with experience like that. So honestly, I'd say it's pretty fun playing with him. He brings a lot of enthusiasm, and he always keeps the light on the ice, so it helps me out quite a bit.
And just last one on that. I've known him for a long time as well. It's cool for him, who's a guy trying to make the team also, making sure he's spending time with the young guys, helping out. Obviously, he spoke with you quite a bit. He was helping out Cal with face-offs. I mean, what does that say about a guy like Pierre-Edouard?
I mean, that just shows who he is. He's been around the league for a long time, but he still has that. He's still a kid at heart, loves hockey, and he just wants to push us and make us better. So it's great having him alongside me. So I'm happy to have him with me.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, well, we talked so much about mentality, and so much of his mentality there was just being comfortable, right, in an NHL locker room. And he sat next to Bellemare today. It's where he'll be sitting during the game. They've got a little bond going on, and Belly has been super helpful. And that brings up just mentality in general. And, of course, our friends at UC Health and Ready, Set, Co. We know that Coach Prime wants to help you and other Coloradans be your healthiest selves. As the Chief Motivation Officer of UC Health's Ready, Set, Co. Challenge, challenge. The goal of the challenge is to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state. Whether it's work, family, social life, no matter what, you need a break sometimes, and you got to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself means a whole bunch of different things. For me, I'll be honest with you, in the last year and a half, even few months, it's been mental. It's been finding a way to just kind of disconnect and not following along so much on social media and recognizing the unrealistic views that it portrays, because really nobody puts the negative stuff out there, but we're all going through something at some point, and it's important that you take care of yourself, whatever that might be. For me, it's on the mental side. For Eric, we're talked about this, and this is fun. I'm going to let you talk for just a quick second, but for you, you want to lose some weight, and you're going to use a little bit of a points challenge with the Avalanche in order to get that done to make you your healthiest self.
Absolutely. Doing it the healthy way, the right way, not the dangerous way. And we said it the other day, for every Avalanche point they're going to get in the standings, I'm going to lose a pound. And I do expect them to win the division. So I don't think they're going to have a 60-point season. But it's going to be a lengthy year, long year. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Rudo's not on my side. He thinks I'm going to fail, but that's fine.
A lot of yogurt this year, bud. A lot of yogurt.
A lot. I'm here to prove Rudo wrong and put my money where my mouth is, and then follow the Coach Prime thing with UC Health. I'm excited, especially after that Buffs win. Man, how can you not be excited?
If you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Co Challenge and join Eric, click the link in the show notes or go to uchealth.org/Ready, Set, Co.
Gonna be honest with y'all. I think a couple y'all in the chat might have some unhealthy side to watching hockey games when it comes to your mental. But for a lot of us, it is healthy to go enjoy a little bit of a break, get yourself down to Ball Arena and watch the Avs. And when you make it down to Ball Arena, make sure you're driving down there in a Toyota. Go check out your Front Range Toyota dealerships today. Get yourself in one of their 17 different all-wheel drive vehicles, and they even have 16 different hybrid vehicles, which is the most of anyone in class. So they can be eco-friendly, they can get you out to the trails, they can do everything you need in a vehicle with Toyota. So much so that they are the official vehicle of not just DNVR, but the Colorado Avalanche too. So roll up to Ball Arena in style today. Make sure you go check out your Front Range Toyota stores, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota, and Boulder Grove Toyota, and Littleton, Mountain States Toyota, and Denver, Stevenson Toyota East, and Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche and DNVR.
And, of course, the official sponsor of the Toyota Chat. And, Matt, what's up? I haven't met you yet, but I can't wait. But I know these guys miss you, and we know you care. Lots of love. Hi, Matt. We'll see you soon. It was fun meeting everybody at Family Sports.
It was really cool.
You are beloved, my man. Like, holy smokes. I thought Eric was the most popular guy in the Avalanche organization, and I believe it's the two guys flanking our wings here.
It's all him.
right.
It's all him.
It's pretty incredible.
Not at all.
It's pretty
but
incredible.
it was really fun to see everybody. It was cool just to say hi and get a chance to actually interact with people, because we're always so on the go during the season that it's hard to get down into the bar when people are here to actually have like conversations. So,
By the way,
cool.
if you ever do see us, always feel free to say hi,
Oh,
say
yeah.
what's up. We're happy to talk hockey with anybody.
Please. It's one of my favorite thing in the world. It's awesome. It's awesome. Do I have a 10,000-yard stare when Rudo's reading ads? I'm just trying to stay caught up. I have no PTSD from it. I love it. I'm impressed when Rudo reads his ad.
flashbacks to your broadcast days on that one?
No. Billboards were always my favorite thing to do. I got to use the announcer voice.
Yeah, nice.
The DNVR podcast is brought to you by UC Health and Toyota.
Hey, we're doing the ad reads like that from now on.
I'll do it next time. I'll do it. I'll give it the old go. Back to kind of this morning. I liked Poulin quite a bit. He seems super relaxed, much more relaxed even than he was when we first started talking to him. We talked to Kylington a bit, and the breaking news there is that he has all of his gear, but it did not show up until this morning. Like before morning skate today is when
tough,
that
buddy.
gear
Yeah.
showed up. That's not easy.
It certainly makes the 2 good days of training camp that he did have even that much more impressive, knowing he was just using whatever gear they could throw on him for that. So
Something was interesting, and I'm going to let him say it. We heard from him just briefly, but he had his boots. He didn't have his steel. And he made a real big point of it not being, he was uncomfortable because it wasn't necessarily his boot. He had his skates, but it wasn't his other pads. It wasn't some of the little meticulous things that hockey players come to really know. Have a listen. All right, game action starts finally. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for you, but we were just talking. Finally got your own gear. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, I know, great feeling. I literally arrived like 20 minutes before the morning skate, so I got a big smile on my face and kind of a relief. It's been going well with the new stuff I've been skating and wearing, but having my own stuff and knowing that I'm going to play with that tonight, it felt comfort.
You did tell me that you did have your own boots, but not your own steel. And
Right.
for the folks at home, just educate them a little bit. At least the comfortability of the footbed and the ankles is there, but it's different when you don't have your edges in the steel that you've been skating on.
Right, yeah, I mean, the skates nowadays are pretty much personalized after your molded foot, so using new boots is not as uncomfortable as it was maybe in the past, but it's just everything with the steeling and the profiling of your blades that was a big difference. And then obviously having completely new gear, shin pads, shoulder pads, elbow pads, it felt very stiff, and also not knowing what length of stick you had too, because my sticks weren't here. So it was crazy couple of days, but I think I just tried to manage it and do my best out of it. And now finally I have my stuff, and I'm happy to just get back to it again.
Training camps are different. It's obviously it's always on hockey about winning and losing hockey games, and the focus when you step on the ice wearing the logo is always to win. But for you tonight, in addition to that, what's the objective for you? What is your main goal this evening?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Just try to play my game, trust my instincts, and try to chip in with my qualities, and not overcomplicate it too much. It's my first game too, and like 5-6 months. Yeah, just try to have fun out there and play my game and try to help us win and contribute with my hard play and my skating and chip in a little bit offensively.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. He's got his own gear back now. He's happy. It's funny, but it makes a difference.
Yep.
Shin pads, elbow pads, I mean, it feels different. You know, it's foreign, especially when you're in that stuff every single day.
I moved my stuff around the other day. My whole career, same shin pads, same elbow pads, same shoulder pads. They're still in a bag in my house. So, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? And they're all worn out and beat to pieces and illegal nowadays because they changed everything years back. But, yeah, it's just important to have your own little. It's your toolkit, right? I mean, it's your tools. So you got to make sure you're good.
I think it is important to have those available to you when you talk about someone like Kylington, and going to bag on one of your teams here, Eric, but Calgary has not had that championship pedigree, really, over the last handful of years. They had 1 or 2 seasons where they were supposed to be good, and even then they couldn't get out of the second round.
You're right.
When someone like Kylington, who walks into this organization and I think gets a little bit of that culture experience of a team that realistically, the guys out there, McKinnon, Rantanen, McCarrs, it's a Stanley Cup or they feel like the season's a failure. It's very, very important to find comfortability where you can as he adjusts to a level of hockey that, yes, he's been in the NHL, but I don't know if he's ever been in a room quite like that before.
Well, great point. Don't go any further than Casey Middlestat last year when he showed up and then he had his first practice and he was beat red and he's like, whoa, like, I didn't know that these guys practice like that here. And it's, again, without knowing it, you're throwing a dagger at your old team, the Buffalo Sabres, you know what I mean? But I don't think it was not on purpose. But, you're like, wow.
It's just true.
It's just
when you
that's
haven't
my
made
point.
the playoffs in a decade.
But that's my point. Your habits, your pace, your stuff like that. You can't just be half-assed in practice and show up in games and all of a sudden turn on the switch. It doesn't work that way.
Cal Ritchie is obviously a topic of discussion because, listen, he is expected to contend for a spot and make this team not only in the organization's minds, across the league. I was talking to a couple of our fellow journalists today. My good friend Boomer from the Boomer and Han show called and asked about him. And listen, this is a guy who's got to do something tonight too, right? Like we talked about all throughout lead up to rookie camp about checking boxes and doing things, and he's made every progressive step that he's supposed to have made up until this point. Tonight's another one.
There's a certain level of impact I expect from someone like Cal Ritchie, not because the level of player he is, but you look up and down this lineup. You look at someone like a Trent Miner. He knows he's not going to be in the NHL this year. He knows he's going to be playing with the Eagles or whatever it might be. That isn't to say he still doesn't have something to play for, but when you compare that to Cal Ritchie's situation, who is This is a guy whose options are in the NHL or he's going back to juniors in Canada. There's a very, very big gap there in what his season could look like either way. It gives him that little bit extra to play for in a preseason game like this. And look, from a skill level, I think he can do it. I think he can be in the NHL. But as I mentioned earlier in the show, this is going to be his first time playing against men. We're going to see the first guy who tries to run him through, how does he handle it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he has everything to prove still. Jared Bednar's almost defiant. Come and earn
Not
it
wanting
from
to
the
play
other day.
young kids, yeah.
From the other day was, I mean, I rolled my eyes a little bit, but with Ritchie, it's obvious that they're like desperate for him.
Just show us anything to let you do it.
Please give us an excuse to keep you.
Yep.
We want to keep you. We think that you can be good for us this year. Just give us a reason. And it's on him to actually go out and do it. But like, you look at him versus Oscar Olsson. Both first round picks couldn't be further apart on the spectrum of one of them is on the verge of making an NHL team and securing a job there. And the other one, the team tried to trade at the deadline last year, and
has 2 NHL games to his name 4 years after his draft.
Yeah, how seriously are we taking this? I mean, we're not even really talking about him anymore as part of one of these battles because he
didn't earn it through rookie and training camp. Yeah,
Big subject here across the league is some of these higher profile PTOs and what they need to do to punch their ticket. Pacioretty scores a couple for the Maple Leafs. I want to hear from you on a couple of things, from the management side and the player side. Let's take Belmar and let's take Ritchie, for example. What do they need to do in terms of this Avalanche organization to earn spots on the roster? First, Ritchie from does he need to score 2 tonight? Okay, Macklin Celebrini scored for San Jose from what will eventually become his office. That's where he always scores goals from. So, all right, so Celebrini made his debut. Looks good. What does Ritchie need to do tonight in the eyes of the Colorado Avalanche management to take that step and check that box? And then after that, what does Belmar need to do?
On Ritchie, go eat. I mean, go eat. Be a dog. You have to. You can't. I said it there. I can't watch the train go by. You got to jump in it. Tonight, I said it earlier about Matthew Phillips. Like, Nate McKinnon's not there. You're probably the most skilled guy in that lineup tonight. I mean, honestly, skill for skill, Ritchie's one of the top skilled guys in the lineup tonight. Maybe on both sides. I don't think I Wide, Johnson, and Stankoven, but show that you belong. Show that you want to be here. Don't show that you're timid. Don't show that you're waiting. Don't show that you're not sure. You got to go out there, jump in it. NHL, it's not a babysitting service. They don't have time. There's no time. So you got to go out there and you got to go earn what you're going to get, and you got to go make the team go, Coach is like, oh, I liked him tonight. Like, I like that.
I just want to jump in on Ritchie really quick. Because of the Avs lineup situation right now, I think there's actually multiple avenues for him to show success at a game like this. It doesn't have to be, hey, score 2 goals, put up a couple assists.
That's kind of what I was trying to get at.
If he does, great. Maybe
Awesome.
you're talking about him on that second line wing spot.
Right.
If he doesn't, if he can show solid defensive play, if he wins a bunch of faceoffs, maybe you're talking about him as a bottom 6 guy for the Avs to start the year.
But to go back to Ritchie, it's about showing that what you saw this past week, it was a step above rookie camp. But what you're going to see tonight is going to be a step above the camp you saw this week. But it's also not a real NHL game. When I say that, it's not a real lineup. So there's also a few more steps before the first game against Vegas, right? So then as a coach, it's for you and as an organization to see, can he pass those tests? He's passed those few tests, the last few ones. Now it's, can he pass this next one? Can he dominate? Can he show that he belongs in games that the rosters are And he should. The answer should be yes. Or else how are you gonna show you belong in 3 weeks from now when the rosters are real? And then it gets to Belmar, it's the same thing. Opportunity knocks, Joe, go jump on it. We all know he did awesome for a 4th line guy, right? You know, 4th line center spot, leadership, lost Cogliano, lost Johnson. You bring some of that intelligence that he brings. This guy speaks, and it's so smart. Like, it's just everything he talks about is smart. Everything that comes out of his mouth, it's not because he's French, it's just reality. But, you know, at the end of the day, it starts tonight for him, and it's awesome to see that he's excited to be in a position that he's in, you know, with a PTO.
if we're being honest, is the only thing Belmar has to do here is just not get hurt. I feel like he's probably got that spot locked up already.
Oh, I would say yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with you
he
guys.
looks good. He looks good with his gear off. He skated well. He's doing all of the other things that they want him to do that don't require him to be on the ice either. Though working with Poulin, working with Ritchie, being vibrant in the locker room. He was ever present and a darling with the media all week. Nothing but praise for literally the entire organization and the city and his family. I mean, he even went so far as to, yesterday when we talked to him after the last practice, just go out of his way to mention how you never know how long this opportunity will present itself in the greatest league in the world, and that you can't take it for granted. I mean, he couldn't have done it better from tip to tail, PR-wise, play-wise, physicality-wise, leadership-wise, mentorship-wise. I mean, for gosh sakes, the man made a case for president of the United States the other day. I mean, he was incredible. He's incredible. And I think
he works the crowd.
I think it matters, but it matters, right? It matters. You need to kind of have that. So good on Belly. I think he's on this team. I stopped short of congratulating him today on it, but good for him. He bet on himself, and I think he's going to come out a winner. And you can too, because Bet365 matches the moment, and they are never ordinary. And not to mention that, but every day they power up the odds with hundreds of bets and boosts on top of them. Over 10,000 of those boosts every month. Specific markets and your winnings, even some parlays. So make sure you keep an eye out for custom DNVR bet boosts. I am a fan of Bet365, and I will tell you why in just a moment. But you can sign up if you don't already have an account, because this is what I did. So new customers can choose between two offers when they open a brand new Bet365 account using code DNVR365 to sign up. All you got to do is deposit $10 and then choose between either of these. Bet and Get, which is an offer that if you place a bet of $5 or more, you get $200 in bonus bets. Or the other option is this first bet safety net, and you can basically place a bet of up to $1,000, and if your qualifying bet loses, you receive a matched refund in bonus bets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I put in $10. I did on a football game, and I ended up winning $200. And I have been playing off of that.
Easy money.
I have been playing off of that $200 for about a month now, and Eric and I, we popped off another $200 yesterday at a football game. So I'm doing pretty good on Bet365. Drinks on me. A little shaboozy, but come find me and we'll have some whiskey. Make sure you sign up for Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Make sure you bet responsibly, but have fun with it. It's cool.
All right. Well, when you win $200 on Bet365, the Coors Lights are on you.
I'll buy you some Coors
I don't need the
Lights
whiskey.
today.
I need
Done.
the Coors Lights.
Done. For you, anything.
Some people like the betting aspect, put a little more oomph into the game that they're watching. Some people just want to kick back, relax, and chill while they're watching the game, and that's where Coors Light comes in. It's the beer literally made to chill. The mountains turn blue on the can or the bottle to show you it's ice cold, and you're even chilling when you go and get your Coors Light because you don't have to go and get it. You go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Instacart will deliver it right to your front door. You barely have to get up off the couch to watch your game with a Coors Light in your hand. Obviously brewed right here in Golden, Colorado. We love them over here. You probably see a picture of me drinking one at the game tonight, to be honest. So
we put this tantalizing bucket on the desk in front of us every single round. I think next time I'm going to just put ice in that thing and we'll
there you go.
Sample the product live on the pod. But moving on.
Before you do, just real quick, please drink responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Yeah, always drink responsibly. Drink and bet responsibly, and especially if you're drinking and betting, make sure you're doubly responsible for all of those things. There's a couple other not question marks, but interesting things that I think are going to play out. We've talked at length about the defensive side of things, but what about a guy like Behrens? We talked to him ahead of time. He's familiar.
Sean Behrens?
Yeah.
That guy.
That one.
Yeah, well, I got you. You threw me off there. I'm like, who's that? Is there a new guy?
No, not that one. What does he need to do? He's in the lineup tonight. I think there's probably some nerves there, even though, especially because of the Denver ties.
I mean, I'm excited to see him tonight. That's one guy. I think we've gotten lost in the shuffle a little bit this past week. I don't know, in my book, in my shuffle, because so used to seeing him and so used to watching him at DU, and we go watch live games at DU, and then you see the national championship and development camp. He's been around for a few years, but then you forget that tonight is actually because of his collegiate status, right? It's first game ever that he puts on the Avalanche sweater. So I'm excited. I know you're excited. He's always been one of our favorites, and again, the size, we'll see what it does. You know what I mean? And again, look at G, look at Brandstrom. You know what I mean? Like, guys adapt, and Sean Behrens is going to adapt. It's just a matter of how long does it take you to adapt, and he knows what he's up against. There's a lot of bodies, a lot of good NHL players, but this is a good player. This is a guy that's going to find its way in the NHL. In my book, I don't know when, but I'm excited, and I know you are too.
Yeah, and I think Behrens got lost in the shuffle just because they brought in so much talent ahead of him.
Yeah.
That it was easy to just be like, hey, you're not part of this really right now. If the forward core, if Gabe Landeskog, Arturi Lehkonen, and Val Nichushkin were all in training camp right now, I don't really think we'd be talking about Cal Ritchie very much.
Correct.
It's proximity to the NHL lineup that I think has created some of the conversation around Ritchie and quieted it down around Behrens. But with Behrens, you always say don't do math. And
hard not to.
Yeah, it's impossible for him to walk in there and not look at that lineup, but he just needs to go out and do his thing. He doesn't have to worry about am I going to make the team? No, you're not. Just go play the best that he can play and focus on improving his game.
That's right.
And over the course of time, the rest will sort itself out.
Absolutely.
I know you say don't do math, but I think he should be doing a little math today. Yeah, you're not competing with Brandstrom and Kylington at the top of this decor in the lineup tonight, but Jacob McDonald and Calle Rosen are also in this lineup. Go show better than those two. You might put yourself towards the top of that call-up list later in the season.
Don't disagree with that.
And that's a great point, because who else is in the building tonight? Head coach, Colorado Eagles.
Yeah,
Aaron
Schneeks.
Schneekloff. So Schneeks is looking at this. What do you think Schneeks looks at in those games?
Sure.
Oh, here's my pairings. Oh, maybe that's a good pairing. Oh, maybe that's a good thing. Oh, wow, they work well together. Oh, he can kill a penalty. Awesome. And that's, again, you're auditioning every minute you put on. You strap on the boots, you're auditioning until the end of your career, whether you're Brandstrom, whether you are Sean Behrens, whether you're Calvin DeHaan, 15 training camps now. You're always auditioning. That's just the way it is.
We have another DNVR Avs pod exclusive for you from this morning's skate. We actually caught up with Behrens briefly as he was just getting ready to kind of head out of the room.
Got to be a little exciting putting the uniform on for the first time in Colorado, really representing the Avalanche in the big arena. Just what were the emotions like in morning skate? Where's the head at right now?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's a great opportunity, for me to get into game action, and I'm just excited for it, and can't wait to get going.
Being a DU product and having this opportunity, is it more special? I mean, being in the NHL in and of itself and having an opportunity to represent that logo is cool, but is it even crazier when it's a town that has a little bit more sentiment?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think a lot of the guys from the team last year are coming, so it's cool to have that support and still be so close to those guys. Even though I'm kind of doing my own thing now.
Dang.
Big night for him. Obviously, there's going to be some nerves tapped on because you're local. There's going to be some friends and family in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. You got to kind of get ready for that. It's like back in the old playoff days. It was stressful in the playoffs because you got to get tickets for everybody at home. It's like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's been here the last few years, and obviously the parents are moved to Phoenix, so I'm sure the parents are in the building tonight. And then, our friend of the pod, Siebes, is probably in the building too.
Kieran Seabrian.
We should make sure if he's there. We'll text him, see if he's there, and support his former teammate. But it's exciting for him. I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to seeing Sean tonight. I'm the more I listen to this interview, the more I'm after watching him tonight, the more I want to see how he reacts. And that was a great point by Rudo there, about the Rosens and McDonald's and guys like that. And it's like, okay, where do I fit down there? And it's always important to fit on the right place and not on the wrong place.
Question in the Toyota chat here from Andrew real quick about the broadcast of this game. The unfortunate answer is we don't know for sure. It's possible that it will be broadcast on ESPN Plus. It's possible that there won't be a camera crew at all and can't be broadcast. I will say in the past, Dallas has found ways to get the scoreboard broadcast. They do have a Victory Plus application, which you can use this year. I would never recommend anyone ever get a VPN and put themselves in Texas to get access to that, but it's possible that you might be able to watch it that way. It's also possible it's not broadcast at all, so we don't know for sure.
Was at morning skate this morning. There are no TV trucks in the parking lot and nobody pulling cables. So I would put the odds of any television broadcast of said game to be at darn near nil. Let's hang out in the Toyota chat again for a second because I think this is a very good question. And Tiff, let's go back up to Wayne. Do you guys believe in Ritchie? For me, I'll just start and then I'll let you gentlemen get in a little bit more depth. Yes, I do. I don't know if I believe in him right away as a bona fide NHLer this season, but yeah, I believe in Ritchie. I think he's got the skill set. I think he's got the demeanor, and he's clearly shown the work ethic and the commitment to doing so to be in that spot. Anybody that puts on 17 pounds and is here and is skating with, the big name guys up in Vail, that tells me something. That's a want. And at this stage of the game for him, want and desire equals effort, and effort is what's going to get him into the NHL.
I'll tell you, I believe in him a lot more than I did a year ago. Look, kind of already mentioned it earlier. The only reason we're seriously talking about Cal Ritchie in the NHL lineup this year is because of the Avs injury and funkiness with their offseason. I think if it wasn't for this Lehkonen injury, if it wasn't for this Landy and Nichushkin stuff, he'd still have shown well. And he'd still get a couple preseason games, but we'd all ultimately be like, all right, he's going to go back to the OHL and finish out his junior career. But this is an opportunity for him to seize. If he shows up and plays well tonight, plays well through the rest of preseason, plays well in his 9-game test if he gets one, this is a guy who could earn a job probably a year earlier than maybe the plan was for him to get it. I believe he can do it, but I also think there's going to be some growing pains in real NHL games for this kid.
Yeah, we'll see. Teenagers in the NHL usually have to be pretty special to make it. And, Rudo says I'm the hater around here. So
Yeah.
For me, it's not, do I believe in Ritchie is more of an existential question that I'm willing to answer at the moment. Do I believe in him right now? I'm a little more on the fence. Do I think he's probably better than Yoel Kiviranta? Yeah. But is playing him in that kind of a role a good idea? To burn a year of his ELC instead of just letting him go and have the kind of year he could otherwise have? He goes back to the OHL. He destroys that. He gets to go to WJCs. He gets to go and be part of everything that he does that is normal for a guy of his caliber to finish off a junior career, and then we'll have this conversation again next season. But for me, I'm wait and see on it. I want to see him in games. I want to see the pace. I want to, I think he is. I think he's a really smart player. He's got really good size.
I agree.
I just don't know if it's NHL yet. Sure, like the
He's
trajectory,
19.
though. Yeah. We don't have to be in a hurry with it, man. We really don't.
It's a fair point. And then here's what I'll say. I got a clean slate with him in the sense that I don't know much about him. We got the best guys at the extreme of this pod right here for prospects, and they love it, and they see a lot of those guys. And I don't. Never have. Never will. You know what I mean? I concentrate more on the pro guys. That's where I know AJ from, right? Avs, but then that side of the press box. But for me, I just want to see with my own eyes what he can do. You know what I mean? Is he ready physically? Is he ready for the pace? Is he ready to take on more? Is he ready to just jump on the train, or does he want to just wait for the train and see what happens? So I'm interested. I'm looking forward to it. And again, I'm throwing it out there right now. And again, that's for us to put a mental note. I'd like to have a pod coming up here on burning years on ELCs, because I'll tell you one thing, it's not always pro player. Sometimes actually burning the year actually works out in favor of the team because of the way those next 2 seasons went. You know what I mean? So I'd like to go and get names out and do some research.
Should tell the Avs to do it more often, because they would rather die than burn.
I know, but again, I think it's been something that's been so I think we should do a little research one day. It'd be fun research to do around the league, not Avs. I'm talking about around the league. And
I think the
not
last
small.
one the Avs did it with was Graves. Other than, like, obviously the Makars and stuff. Which,
Yeah. So anyway, sometimes it ends up being pro team when a guy burns a year, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, if he wouldn't have burned that year. Anyway, long story short, we should look into it one day.
Listen, there's going to be hard decisions, and no one's ever going to agree completely on them. I think Cal Ritchie might be a little bit of a sticking point on exactly what happens. I do truthfully really love, AJ, what you had to say about it's not necessary to do that just yet. And I
You
think
really
it's
don't have to
smart
push
to
it,
just
man.
wait a sec.
Yeah, you really don't have to force it, and that's as much as we look at this forward court and you say, well, there's an opening in game 1, but by game 15 is the opening still there? Because that for me is the big fear here is that you burn it,
and then he's not in the lineup. Yeah.
You end up with the best case scenario of you get Lehkonen, you get Landeskog, you get Nichushkin. All three of those guys end up back, and December 1st rolls around, and you're like, well, Cal Ritchie. He's getting outplayed by Nikolai Kovelenko because Kovalenko's 6 years older and he's a man and he understands how to play professional hockey because he's been doing it for the last half decade.
I know I'm sidetracking us. Oh, sorry.
And that's my fear of it is that in the immediate, I would do it for game 1. If these rules didn't exist, sure, I'm all for giving him the 9-game trial, but that 10th game is my sticking point where I'm not convinced it's not overwhelming evidence yet. If the 9 games go great, then we live in that world and I probably feel differently. But as of right now, to answer that question, I'm unconvinced.
I do think it is worth noting if he's not in the NHL come December, he almost certainly would be going to World Juniors with Canada. So that's another thing for the Avs to consider.
And he's going to destroy the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the adult in our lineup?
Is AJ? AJ's the adult?
AJ's the adult
All right,
here.
I'll take that.
That's just
Me
because
and
I'm the
Rudo
hater.
are like
All right, I'll take it.
gangbusters, and he's the adult.
That's just because I'm the hater.
The three of us are gangbusters, and
We all know Tiff's the adult on this show.
Tiff
Come
is
on.
actually the adult. That's a very good point.
point.
The voice of reason.
Yeah, it
He's
really
100% Tiffy.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, she's looking at me right now with her mom eyes because I got to take a quick pause, and then a brand new feature on the DNVR Avs pod that you can expect on game days. All right. So obviously morning skates a ton of fun, and from the media standpoint, I enjoy it very much because it really does craft some storylines for you at the night, and what you can expect that night. Eric and I are going to start a little something on morning skate days called Hockey in the Rockies. We gave you a first edition. It's just a little recap, but have a look. It's the DNVR Avs pod. It's Biggie and Gizmo. And it is Hockey in the Rockies morning skate, something we're going to be bringing you constantly. It is day number 1 of actual games in the preseason. The boys just got out there, typical morning skate. You had a chance to talk to them in the locker room a little bit, but other than the obvious, what's the takeaway? Not any massive names on the roster tonight, not a surprise there. I am excited to see Pierre-Edouard Bellemare skate tonight. I'm very excited to see Cal Ritchie skate, and it'll be nice to see Behrens and Poulin out there as well.
absolutely. And you said it. You walk in the building. It's so fun to be here. It's so fun. It's been a while. Ball Arena might not be rocking tonight, as we know, because it is preseason game, but it's good. It's an opportunity for people to come and see those young guys play. Light lineup, like you just talked about. Not a lot of NHL man games played total, which is all right, which is to be expected. Same thing for the Dallas Stars tonight. Yeah, you do have Wyatt Johnson and Stankoven coming in, which would be nice for the fans if you're coming to Ball Arena. But you know what? Great to walk in. Great to see some familiar faces. Great to see Tony that drives the Zamboni. Guys, guys like that. It's just fun to be back in it. It is preseason, but it feels real because it's exciting.
Question for you on Pierre-Edouard Bellemare specifically. We've talked about him at length throughout training camp on how well he has done and how good he has looked. Does he have anything left to prove tonight?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it starts in a sense with last week at training camp. Then it starts tonight with real games, meaning that it is a preseason game. But go out there. He was doing the same thing today at practice. He's working with the young guys on faceoffs. He's vocal. He's a leader. That's what he's going to bring here, whether it's Nathan MacKinnon or Sean Behrens, playing probably his first, not probably, but playing his first game with a Avalanche sweater. On his back. So it's exciting for those young men, and it's good to see Bellemare that's got a lot of experience. And hey, listen, he's 39 years old. He's been around. He's seen these things, and it's land of opportunity starts tonight for a lot of those guys, including Pierre Edouard.
And last one, Cal Ritchie plays tonight. What does he need to do? What should his goal this evening be?
Again, I say it all the time. He checked boxes at rookie camp, right? Got to do what he's got to do. He did it. Boom. Check boxes this past 4 days at Family Sports there with, some sort of scrimmages, practicing, high tempo, rubbing elbows, McKinnon, Makar. Now it's a real game. Even though the lineup is light, he has to go out there and, I'll say it again, I use my line all the time, make them make decisions. When I say them, it's the organization. Make the coach make decisions. Does he want to play me at center? Does he want to play me on the wing? You want to be a backup goalie. You got to show that you're willing to do everything, and it starts tonight for our good friend Cal Ritchie.
All right, we'll see what happens. Avs, Stars, tonight at Ball Arena. Preseason game number 1. DNVR will have complete coverage for you, and we'll catch up with you later on in the day. Okay, and all that content is also on Twitter, too, so if you're not following us on there, make sure you're doing so. Twitter sometimes sees it first, but obviously we'll have that for you on the pod, but we'll also have it for you on Twitter, including all of those morning skate pressers. You can't get coverage anywhere else on the Avalanche like you can from DNVR, so make sure you're subscribing and liking. Come say hi, and if you aren't already a diehard yet, make sure you're doing that too, because we've got a ton of really cool special feature diehard stuff that will get kicking off as soon as the season gets going. Okay, a couple more things to talk about here before we say goodbye and get ready to head back to the arena for puck drop tonight. Let's talk about Kovelenko a little bit, and then I want to get you guys' opinion on Dallas and just sort of what we can expect out of them. My old bosses, the head coach Pete DeBoer and Steve Spott, get a little reunion tonight. I'm looking forward to saying hi to those guys. But let's start with Kovelenko, and let's start with you, Rudo.
Yeah, Kovelenko's in a bit of a unique spot, right? Because he's not some of these prospects that really haven't played pro yet that we've been talking about. He's been in Russia playing in the KHL for years. He comes over. Expectation is an NHL spot for him, but he has been given a lot of opportunity this preseason playing on a second line style of role, playing next to someone like Casey Middlestad in training camp. And the reality is, he's the guy. You guys mentioned Ritchie. Hey, you want to go see him score some goals? Kovelenko needs to produce in games like this to earn a second line role with the Colorado Avalanche. He's got to show he can score against NHL competition.
Agreed. AJ, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he just has to just be the tank that he is, forecheck hard, skate hard, play hard, and he'll be fine. He does that, Jared Bednar will love him. He doesn't do that, why is he here?
True.
That's his identity as a hockey player. If he's not going to be able to translate that to the NHL, he'll be back in the KHL by March. And it's that easy. I mean, he is very capable of being a legitimate impact guy in an NHL lineup. Where we don't really know, but the Avs are not great at right wing, and that's what he is. It's what he's been for years. He's got playmaking ability, he's got scoring ability, but it's really about his physicality. That is going to be the thing that jumps off the ice in the Avalanche lineup. Everything else, his skill can play, but his physicality is his greatest selling point.
And there shouldn't be any jitters for him. Like you said, he's not 18.
He's been doing this for a while.
I mean, he's 25 years old.
He played playoff games last year.
I mean, come on. Like now it's like I talk about the train. That's the guy.
Jitters would be a problem.
Jump on the train. If you can't like do what you do best in a game like tonight, then if you're Jared Bednar, you're like, hey, again, you're not here to babysit. You're here to win games, and it's like you got to show it to me now. The train, jump in it tonight.
And I think that against a team like Dallas, the challenge is going to be there because they're fielding a good team on the ice. We said it earlier; they didn't necessarily, not load the plane.
Yeah. Look, Kovelenko probably going to be one of the top forwards in this game for the Avs. He's going to be matching up against guys like Logan Stankoven, Wyatt Johnson's in this lineup. On the back end, he's going against Nils Lundqvist. I think Labushkin's in as well. So there are some real NHLers on that Dallas side. That this is not a total their prospects versus our prospects type of game.
We've talked a little bit about this too. Like, is there a budding rivalry a little bit with Dallas based on playoffs, etc., Rudo?
I hate this question.
I know.
The Avs haven't had a true rival for 2 decades, and I really don't think they have one now. Maybe you could argue that Dallas is the closest if they match up in the playoffs 1 or 2 more times, and the Avs can actually beat them in one of those series.
Yeah, but the Avs have to win a series for it to be a rivalry.
Well, what are your thoughts on Dallas, AJ, tonight? What are you, based on their lineup, what are you expecting? I mean, not necessarily that it matters. I really don't care who wins or loses this hockey game tonight.
Yeah. my guy Colin Blackwell.
No, God.
That's what's up. I knew Rudo was not gonna like that. No, it's really it's fine. Like there's some of their top young guys are gonna be in that lineup, you know, with Stankoven, Johnston, and Maverick Bork.
Yep.
Cool. I'm excited to see them. They're good players. I like watching the young players that I haven't spent 10 years watching. That's great. But it's preseason hockey. We're very excited for it because hockey's back, but we will get 9 minutes into the first period and go, preseason hockey is god awful.
Over on frustrated faces from Jared Bednar and Pete DeBoer during the game tonight as they just completely ruin their systems.
0.5. Like genuinely, those guys are just going to be like,
Can't wait to get out of here.
Yeah, most of these guys aren't making my team, and the ones that are, I already know are. This is fine. Let's just get to getting.
I've known Pete DeBoer since I was about 15 years old, and he still scares me.
Great.
I'm still intimidated by Pete DeBoer at times, and but yeah, okay. So I would, if I was a rookie on that team, I'd have a hard go of it. Your expectation tonight on the Dallas side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact, like you said, like they put on the plane like the Stankovens and Wyatt Johnson and some veterans back then, Brendan Smith, and it's not. I'm not saying you like or not. He's laughing at me already. He's already wanted to fight me about. But he's a veteran player that's been around the league for 12, 14 years, whatever it is. So it's not like an 18-year-old rookie. So there's, and you said Lundqvist, guys that, we'll see actually what
he plays
does.
more than 5 minutes.
I was going to say, poor guy. Every time we
Yeah.
watch him, he plays 4 minutes, but whatever. I'm sure he's a good player. And again, that's an opportunity to see him tonight when he does. I'm excited. Again, it's baby steps, right? Baby steps. And I agree with AJ. All of a sudden, 9 minutes? Okay, maybe 7. Minutes, you're going to be like, oh, God, can we get to the real games yet? Hey, listen, there's 6 of those. Let's get through those. It's baby steps, right? And then we get excited for the start of the season. Then you get excited for, all the next steps that brings, the Avalanche season. And God knows that it's a long one, and it's a lot of work and a lot of emotions for the management, the players, the staff, the fans, the media, everyone involved. And but you know what? Season can't start until you play that first. Rudo says that all the time. You got to play the game that's in front of you.
Yep.
Well, can't start your season until you play your first exhibition game or preseason game, whatever you want to call it. What's the real word? Is it exhibition or preseason?
Both are correct.
Same.
Both are correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
See, look at me.
Okay, we only have a few minutes left. These shows fly by, and it bums me out because I could do this for another 3 hours. But let's talk about, real quick, I want everybody, give me who you think is going to be a standout tonight and who you think is going to be a... Give me your pre-stud and dud prediction for an exhibition game.
I'm going the top pair. Whether that's Brandstrom or Kylington, however they end up shaking it out, I think one of those D is going to pop off tonight and put themselves as the lead horse in that defensive spot race.
Okay.
My attention is going to be on Kovelenko. He's got it. Like he came over for this. You got to do it now.
All right, mine's going to be Jason Poulin. I want him to mange les bancs, right? I want him to eat the boards. And then maybe as a dud, I see tonight, first exhibition game, I see a lot of penalties on both sides. No flow to the game. That's going to be my dud right now.
No flow tonight.
Get the Sampo Ranta 3-penalty special.
Yeah. It's been a while.
What's it-
Don't
what's
hook, don't
for,
slash. It's not shinny. It's not summer hockey. There's referees.
Fourth one was
out
made up, though. It doesn't count.
And he made the team.
And then
Come and earn it, baby.
just briefly for the fans at home to know, and Eric, you can put the management hat on for this. They play this game tonight. They don't play another game until the weekend. For these players after this, what does the next few days look like?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you're a guy that don't like to be reprimanded or sent down, don't look at your phone because you know that you're going to have messages on your phone starting tonight. And it's going to be like, please come see coach. You know what I mean? And I'm not making fun. I am not. Listen, I've been on that side of things. So, but it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously the roster is going to get trimmed. I mean, starting tonight. Obviously there's a day off tomorrow. It is a day off, right? Yeah, it's a day off
full
tomorrow.
day
So,
off
yeah,
tomorrow.
so you know that. Again, that makes the equipment guys a little happy because I tell you, it is not easy. This morning I was talking to Donnie a little bit, and guys at Ball Arena, guys at Family Sports, it actually makes the most sense when you think about it. Don't have to try to cram everything. And then every year I'm always like, why do you try to cram everybody in? Just leave them at the practice ring. Man, they finally came to their senses. I don't know if they've been doing this for a few years or not, but We weren't doing that back then. We were dressing guys in the hallway, and I'm like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, just leave him over there. Like, who cares? If I'm one of them, great. It's Nate McKinnon, great. But, yeah, don't look at your phone tonight. Pretend that there's an outage with your phone service, and because the light will be flashing for a few guys tonight.
All right. That is going to wrap us up for today. We will all be at Ball Arena tonight, so if you see us come by, please say hello. Lots of fun. I'm so excited to get this thing kicked off. Make sure you are following along on all of our social medias because we are churning out the DNVR exclusive content. And again, if you're looking for the best, most in-depth, perfect, comprehensive coverage of the Colorado Avalanche, look no further than DNVR. This group is bringing it to you, and we are going to keep bringing it to you just like this all year long. And as the season begins, we're also going to have some stuff on the other side for you. We want you to see the other side of things and hear from the other locker rooms and really have a clear picture on exactly how games and seasons are playing out. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're a diehard, and make sure you're enjoying it. Go out there, make somebody's life better today, and we will see you later this week for more of the DNVR Avs pod. Puck drops tonight between the Stars and the Avalanche for Game 1 of the preseason. Bye, everybody.
We all silly like the mayor.